everybody, welcome to Elisa's art room. Today we're going to be working on my bee junk journal. It's called Bees and Blossoms. So we're going to do that. I'm going to use some Essential Stencil rub-on transfers to decorate some pages. And I'm going to get you guys pulled up so I can see chat. We are live on Facebook if you see the little red button on the top left. If not, you're catching a replay. See if it'll pull up. I tried like 3 times and it wasn't showing. There it is. Thanks for letting me know the sound is good, Dawn. I appreciate that. So, a little heads up. For some reason, plugged my iPad in hours ago, and at some point the battery cord came unplugged. So I have like a 53% charge. I am not 100% sure it's enough for the whole live, so we're going to kind of wing it and hope it's enough. If for some reason you lose me, that's why my battery died. Unfortunately, there's no way for me to plug my battery in to the phone and use my microphone. I don't have like a connector that will let me do both. So hopefully it's enough. I hope. Otherwise, the only thing I could do would be to plug the iPad in and use it without my microphone, which the sound is just horrible. So we're going to hope we have enough. So we'll try to go fast. I don't know. I think the cat might have messed with it. He keeps chewing on my cords, and I can't seem to catch him when he's doing it, and it's an issue. So, let's see. We're going to go ahead and pull this camera up top so we can go ahead and get started. 1 second. Okay. That looks all right. Cord is yeah, I need like a cordless, but even if I had a cordless, I think it still plugs into that plug on my iPad. So I don't know, but maybe they make an adapter. They probably do. They probably make some sort of adapter to allow you to plug in 2 lightning ports, because that's what I would need, is one with 2. So some sort of a splitter, and then I could do it. But honestly, I have never had an issue with it not staying charged, so I don't know why that happened. My guess is it was the cat. That's my guess. So what we're going to do today, we're going to use these Essential Stencil Honeybee rub-on transfers. I may have 2 of these sets. I had one, then Essential Stencil sent me one to promote during a sale. So I probably have more than one of these floating around somewhere, but this is the one we're going to work with because it was the one I found. But they're cute. They're real cute, and they are in stock. And a lot of stuff right now is on sale. There's a sale from today until Friday the 20th for, was it 25% off site-wide? Well, not quite site-wide. It says almost site-wide. So there are a couple things that it didn't include, like it didn't include the new summer thing that just was released. So I'm not sure exactly what. You have to go to the site and they'll tell you if it's on sale or not. But there was a lot of stuff that was on sale. I'm pretty sure this was. Because this one's been around a while. It's not like brand new. But I have, I think, enough in this package to do what I want to do. So what I want to do is I'm just going to make a little scene. I thought it'd be fun just to make a scene with some layers, and then I might, if I have time, I might do the honey jar somewhere. But for right now, we're just going to make like a background scene. So I got to see if I have enough wildflowers. I'm not sure. If not, I guess I could pull out the spring one. But I really want to use these, so we're gonna try to make it work. So I'm going to try and get some of these bees. I should have just went ahead and cut this up, but I try not to cut it up too much ahead of time because sometimes they start falling apart and then they get messed up if their protective covering comes off. But I need to see what I have to work with. I wonder if I do have another set. I really feel like I do have 2 of these. Got a bunch of bees. I'm going to try to put one of these bees on those wobbly things. I think I can fit this little fat little bee right here. For sure. I'm pretty sure he'll fit. And possibly one of these. It might show a little bit. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to cut a couple of those out. And then, so I guess I don't have a ton of flowers. All right, let me look at my transfers, guys. I'm 90% sure I have another one of these, but you know, sometimes my memory is not the best. Let's see. Winter elements, Halloween, gnomes, Easter, pumpkin, roses, horses. Not there. Not seeing it. Hold on. It's too many things. I have too many things. Starting to get where my stock is out of hand, guys. I'm digging off camera because you don't want me digging on camera with all this stuff. Oh, no, I'm not seeing another bee. Maybe I don't. It's possible I don't, but you know how it is when you really think you have something? A lot of transfers, guys. Way too many transfers. Okay, vintage flowers, rub-ons, patriotic floral. Don't think it's in here. Magnolias, birds. Nope, not there. All right, I guess I only have the one set. Maybe I used it. It's possible I used it all. All right, well, we'll make it work. All right, so I have a page in here. So I debated on doing the honeycomb like this, but I think it's going to be too bright. So I have another one back here. So I have this one. So I'm just going to pull the whole thing out. I hope this works. It was one of those things I was trying to come up with something. Oh, and I did my fabric flip for those who've been watching me. So I went ahead and got everything sewed on here. So, and I added a piece of paper with a little bee. One of these bees. So there's that, and I sewed on my little charm bee. So he's got a little charm on there, little dingy, and then I added this like fuzzy. Thought it was cute, so did that. So I've got this paper, and we're gonna probably pull out this page. So this is just on cardstock. So it's thicker, which is why I chose to use it. So we're gonna make a scene here because I think this will work for a good background. I should be able to remember where this goes, but you never know. So I don't think I want to use that. I wanted it to be more like a wildlife kind of, wildflowers. So I think I have enough. I guess I used most of them. But I still got some. So yeah, I should have enough. Okay. And then bees, of course, we're gonna put a bunch of bees. We might throw some of this lavender in there, I don't know, just to give it some variety. So a couple of pieces of lavender. We'll just do these 3 pieces, I think. A couple more bees maybe. So I'm just sticking all these little pieces up here. So here's what I want to do. I don't need this. I don't need this. And then we still have more lavender on there if I need more lavender. All right. So what I want to do is make a little scene, but layer it so that it has some dimension, because that'll be more fun than just doing it plain. So I want to put these on something and build it up, but I also want the background to be something other than maybe just honeycomb. So I got to decide where I want my flowers. I'm probably going to split these into 2. This one's kind of going this way a little bit. It's almost one piece, but I think I can split it. It's really close, but I think I can do it. I probably intended to be one piece, but we're going to make it 2. A little close on that one stem, but that's okay. So I'm thinking I want this over here and this over here. And I'll decide on that. And then I've got a couple of stencils. So I've got this one. These are on sale, and they were in stock. Let's see, could I use this somehow? Sweet, okay. This one says sweet like honey. And this one's home is where my honey be. And then I've got this hive from Stencil of the Month Club, which I also thought was cute. It's really made to go into this truck. This was from the January. I don't know that this is still available. Chances are it's not, but sometimes they have back ones still available, but I didn't have time to look, so I didn't look. But I thought maybe this would be cute in the background. I just have to decide. I might move the bees up because they're falling out of the truck really, but we don't want that. We want them just on the ground, and then I think I'm gonna have the bees kind of come up. So I think I'll do that. So that'll be a background thing. I wasn't necessarily going to use stencils, but why not? So there's the beehive on this one, and then there's, you don't have to have words, but why not? Hey, Deborah. Hey, Angela. Who else do we have? Hey, Tina. Okay. So sweet like honey. I don't know that it fits the scene. I don't feel like it fits the scene. I do think maybe the beehive fits the scene, but maybe, I don't know, is it too big? It looks big. Let's see how big it is. So we have from about here. So it's too big there. I could put it on 2. I could put the, and then beehive. That could be fun, maybe. I know a lot of you won't have this one, but this is just meant to give you inspiration. It's not necessarily for you to exactly copy. Not that I care if you do, by all means, have at it. But, you know, a lot of times when I use stencils and stuff, they're out of stock, you know, they're discontinued because I have to use my stock, obviously. But I think I'll do that. I think I'll put the beehive down here, maybe toward the middle, so that I can put the flowers on each side. I can pick them up without messing them up. Okay. Always try to peel it. All right, so put this one about here, but I'm gonna lift it. And then this one, I think about here. I just want the beehive to show behind there, and all this won't be white, so. All right, that's what I'll do. So that'll go there, a bunch of bees, and then some closer bees, and then maybe a few pieces of lavender floating on different levels. We'll see how that looks. I've got a couple of smaller pieces of lavender, well, more like taller. So I like this shape, I think, and maybe this shape. All right, let's try that. All right, so let's get started. We got to first put these two on vellum. So we're going to put these on vellum so that we can cut them out. And we're going to put this stencil on here. This is cardstock, so it's not going to go through. If it wasn't cardstock, I would worry about my paint going through, but it's not going to. Let me just resize that again because now I moved it, I think about, it's pretty much almost right in the middle. I really need to ink that middle so I can see it. Hold on. Let me just grab some ink. Yeah, we could probably just use warm honey. I'm just going to make my center more visible. And just speckle on like this. It doesn't really do much, but at least lets me see it better. Okay. So there's my center. So I know this needs to go about here, I think. Yeah, that should be fine. I might take this little flower off. I'm not sure. We'll see. So I think I want to take these bees and maybe stop them about here so that they go up this way. So I'm going to put some tape over the ones I don't want. If I can find my tape. And then I'm going to stencil this on here with, what should I use? It's going to be a background. I could do black, but I'm looking at these colors. Is there a lot of black? There's some black. Or I could do like a dark brown. I wonder which part of the bee is stenciled in on these. Is there a picture somewhere? There is a picture somewhere if I can find it. All right, let me find it. I'm curious if it shows. Oh, it's too small. I can't see that. Okay. So that would obviously be black if I did that. The wings would stay the background color. The body would have a little bit of both. All right, that's feasible to do black or brown. All right, so we'll put this here. I think that's a good spot. I'm not going to go quite to the ground. I might draw in a ground a little bit. We'll see. I don't really want to put this tape on my paper. I can use this tape on my paper, but the blue tape can be iffy. So I'm going to put, I'm going to do a little of both. We'll try this. I don't know. It doesn't hold super well on the stencil itself. All right, and then we want to cover these little guys. So I'm not going to push it too hard because I don't want it to, I don't want to touch the paper too much. As long as I peel slow, it's not usually a huge deal, but I'll try not to touch the paper too much. I don't want that one because he's going in a downward direction. We're going to put him. All right, that'll be good, I think. That'll work. All right, and then let's use, we'll do scorched timber, I think, if I can find it. So I didn't bring it over here, or I could do archival. I guess I could do archival. It doesn't really have to be, I don't think, but maybe I should. Okay, I thought I had the archival. Oh, there it is. This is potting soil. That's probably dark enough. You know, I'm gonna go black, because if I go black, then the bee bodies will be the right color and all that. I just don't want it to take away from the flowers, so that's my concern. We'll go brown. Sorry, I'm going back and forth because I have to think about all these elements that might show. All right, we'll go with brown. So I want it to be kind of subtle, and I think I'm going to use a brush so it's not quite as strong as it is if I use a sponge. big. Do I have a smaller archival? I know I do. I just have to find it. No, that's pink. We want pink. You know what? I'll just use one of these, I guess, because I can't seem to find it. I'll do one more dig. Nope, that's peeled paint. I have too many. Oh, there it is. Archival. Okay. That's the one I want. I try to use archival on only certain ones that way because they wash differently. Archival ink is harder to wash out than just regular distress ink. It washes out fine with my the Master's brush cleaner though. That works really well. All right, so we're just going to go with this dark brown color. Make sure. I don't want it to take away too much from anything in the front. It's a subtle, subtle background is the idea. If I use the dauber, I get a heavier coat than if I use this brush. All right, I think that's good. And we're going to move it, and gosh, sometimes not having fingernails is an issue. All right, this one. So we're going to make the rest of these, figure out a way they look believable. Maybe something like, I think something like that. But I might uncover these. We don't go too high because we got the beehive up there though, right? How much does that take up? Let me look again. The beehive, yeah, that's about there. So I could probably do just that one. We'll keep that one there. We'll get rid of these two. I'll just do that one bee. All right, that should be fine. I don't want this one because it's over the other one there. Okay, that looks reasonable. I'm really just winging this, guys, so hopefully it turns out okay. It usually does. I'm usually okay at winging stuff, but you know, just in case it doesn't. I was trying to think of ways I could do this with this transfer because it's so pretty. And I could just put it on pages, but you know, gets boring. So I wanted to keep it a little more interesting. I don't know if I got enough ink there. A little bit more. Okay, that feels about right. All right, good enough? That looks good enough. All right, so we got a little beehive. I'm not going to bother cleaning that or anything right now. I'll clean it later with alcohol. For cleaning the archival off the stencils, just use alcohol. I just use these little swabs I get from Sam's. Okay, so now vellum for these because we're gonna bring it up a little bit, not super high, but a little bit. So I'll put that up there. Grab my vellum. So I'm using a heavyweight vellum. I used this when I did the butterfly wobblies. It's called thick vellum. I got it off Amazon. Olympio. Olympia? I don't even know how to say that. Oplimio? Oplimio? That is a weird name. I have no idea. When I first saw it, I thought it was like Olympic or something, but it's not. It messed with my eyeballs. All right. It's a nice thick vellum. It's 105.2 pound. Works real well when you want to have something with a little bit of substance. So we're just going to put these transfers on here and cut them out. So I was using this one and, what was it? This one. And then we're going to do a bee too, so we'll need the bees because we're going to put one of these bigger bees on a wobbly. We're going to try it anyway. So we'll put this one on here, and then maybe we'll try one of these. I don't know, this one looks like he's sitting. This one looks more like he could be flying. I don't know, I guess he could be flying, but the legs are kind of, I feel like this one would be sitting. So I don't know if I'm going to do, I guess I could sit him on top of a flower wobbly. I'm not sure how it would work because, I don't know. We'll think about that. I'm not sure. Yeah, you know, let's just go ahead and put them down anyway. I can always cut them out and not use them if that comes to that. So I'm just going to give myself some space to cut these out and stick them all on here. So remember, don't touch your actual image with your fingers. It gets oils on there and then it doesn't stick as well. So try to keep your fingers off of it. Thanks, Deborah. I hope it turns out cute. It's like, the idea I think is good. I think. All right, so we're going to use this little transfer tool. Seems to work pretty good. I left that on there. I can always cut it out if I decide not to use it. I'm going to see how it looks first. This one flower here. So I'm just giving these a little bit of a adherence and then I'll come back over them better. Well, that one came off. Sometimes that happens. Popped right off. So I guess he's down. They do seem to stick to this vellum pretty well. This way, sometimes you do have to hold it because if you catch the edge when you're rubbing, it'll pop it right off like it just did. And if you haven't completely rubbed it down, then you got issues. I would have probably lost that transfer part. Okay, there's another one. This should be relatively quick. And figuring it out will take the longest part. I'm going to peek at my battery and see how it's holding out. What does it say? Ooh, 36 already. We went from 52 to 36 in 30 minutes. Oh my goodness. It's like I said, I could unplug my mic. I've got the charger sitting here. But it's not ideal because the sound without my mic is really not great. I gotta remember to keep watching it before it just dies on me. Oops. I saw a little spot right there that did not adhere. All right, let's try that again. All right, there, now it's down. Okay. All right. Just like to give them a little rub. It does two things. It's it adheres it really well, and it also takes out any of those rub marks that you get from your tool. It helps remove those. All right, so now we've got those on there, so they're nice and kind of sort of see-through. So we're going to fussy cut them out. My least favorite thing in the world to do, but we're going to do it anyway. I'll probably put some of that lavender too in a minute. I just want to see how this looks first. So I can work better with smaller pieces. So for this one, we need our little wobbly things. I'm gonna grab them. I just want to see how the size is going to be. So these are the small wobbles. They are, I think they're like a half an inch, 1 inch, half an inch. They're approximately 3/4 of an inch. I don't have the size. I thought it said the size, but I don't see it. Is there a size on the back? Nope. I don't know. Got them off Amazon. They're on my favorites list. So I want to see how this is going to cover the bead. I know it's too big, but I think I can make it work anyway. It's not going to show too much. And it is kind of clear. So once you take the sticky off, I think it'll be all right. We're going to go with it anyway. So I'm just going to fussy cut these guys kind of loose, not super detailed, you know, a loose fussy cut. And by that I mean just follow around and leave yourself a little bit of a border. You know, do some curves when it changes shape. And that should give us enough of an edge to hold on to our wobbly thing. Now when they're smaller pieces, they don't wobble quite as nicely, I've found, as the bigger pieces, but they do still wobble. Okay, there's one little bee. Another little bee in case we decide to use them. This one is going to show even more though. It is definitely smaller than the other one. So I'm not sure if I'll use it. We'll see. I might just apply it with foam and not have it wobble. There's that. And then we're going to cut these out. So like I said, just a kind of a loose cut. It doesn't have to be a perfect fussy cut. Because it's clear, it will give the illusion of being, you know, better cut. When you do this, you spin the piece with your left hand, assuming you're right-handed, and you squeeze your scissors as you're turning with your other hand, and that seems to work best. I don't think I'm going to go all the way down there. And just keep going around, turning as you go. Something takes a little bit of practice, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad to fussy cut. I tend to fussy cut when I'm watching TV and stuff. I just sit down with a whole bunch on my bed and sit there and watch TV and fussy cut. And then, you know, it's like eating crackers in your bed. You'll end up with all these little pieces all over your bed. You know, it is what it is. All right, so we're going to just get that off there. So there's that one. I'll do this one. Gotta check out my charge again. I was kind of surprised it actually used that much. I didn't think it did. Because I start out, every live I start out with 100% on my battery. And I usually have like 40% left. So I thought, you know, 50%, there's a chance I could make it. If a 2-hour live usually doesn't use it all, but it's going fast today for some reason. I don't know why. I guess I could try and talk really loud. We have to unplug my mic. It works, it's just, it doesn't pick up very well because, you know, it's up in the air like 2 or 3 feet from me. Okay, there's that one, there's that one. So let's see what we got. There's some of the trash. Let me check my charge. What's it say? 32. Oh, okay. We're good. So we're going to put these on with some foam. Yeah, that'll be cute. So I've got foam tape, dimensional foam tapes. I think these were from probably Dollar Tree. And then I've got better quality ones from scrapbook.com. I've got the little squares. These are black. And then I've got bigger squares. So I have to decide what I want. I think I'm going to use these little tiny, there was much. I think that's all the ones I have. The rest of them are black. I don't want to use black. So combination probably of this and maybe this. These are a little higher. So if I do one more layer, I'll probably use these, but these aren't as high. These are like maybe a 16th if I had to guess. So it's not super high, but we're going to try to put it behind, you know, some of the areas that I think it won't show too much on. Probably should use my tweezers. Be less likely to take the sticky off, maybe. And I'm just going to put them in a few places. The vellum's not it's not super thick, but I think it's thick enough to maintain its shape okay. Maybe right there. I prefer them not to show too much. Maybe put one right there. Let's see how bad that looks. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. Okay, so that's going to go here. I need one right there. So this flower, I'm debating, guys. I'm going to take it off. I'll use it somewhere. I'm going to take it off of there. I just like the way it fits there better without it. And then this one. So I think I want one more on that bottom spot right there. It's probably going to show a little bit. You know what? I'll cut one in half. If you are going to cut them in half before you peel them. We're just going to kind of hide it behind the stem there as best we can. All right. Make sure they're stuck. I'm going to put one more there. I just want it to have a little bit of a raise up. It just gives it that little bit of dimension. So it produces like a shadow and it just looks cool. All right, so there, there, there. Can't quite see. I think I can get away with one right here. If it shows a little bit, it's not a huge deal. Cut these in half. Stem there. And this one, I'll put it right here. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so there and there. I don't want to go too much to my center, otherwise it might catch in the signature. So I'm gonna keep it pulled over this to the left a little bit. And then we've got our little wobbly bee. So he's going to just be flying somewhere below our words. And then this one I'm not sure about yet. Could possibly add this one. Nah, we just don't even need them. I don't even think we need the lavender, honestly, guys. I think it's going to be plenty. I thought about layering it more, but if I do... Let me see. Let me go ahead and throw this on a vellum and I'm going to see what it looks like. I'm running out of space. Popped right off of there. All right. I know I had another one with a long stem. I'll see if I can grab it in a second, but I want to see how this looks first. I want this one to be a little bit higher. I'm going to use that thicker foam. Might put it right here. And then I could put maybe one there. What if I just did a little short one maybe? I don't want to cover the hive up too much. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I could stick the vellum to this other flower. Maybe it would stick just fine. Where's that lavender at? Let's see, I saw it. Oops. Where are you hiding? There he is. All right, I want this one right here. Excuse me. Hopefully I'm not making the camera go in and out of focus too bad. Okay. Okay, checking it. 29. Okay. Definitely getting low. So I have to stencil and everything up. Okay. Let's get this guy out. This. It's like a little gateway. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So, wobbly thing. Where'd you go? I buried you. There you are. Lovely thing. All right, so this has the smaller part on the spring is the top, and the larger surface is the top. So the more surface that's showing. There's actually a split here if you can get it apart. Let's see if I can get my tweezers under there. Okay, we're going to stick that. Let's see where it looks best. I think the long way. Go right about there. Like I said, I know it's going to show a little. I don't care. Stick that down. We're not going to hear it until I put the words because I want to make sure I know where it goes. And then we're going to go ahead and glue these down. I think they're safe. Well, you know what? Let me stencil it first because I might not be able to lay it flat with these on here. So I'm not going to glue these yet. Let me get this stencil since I am going to put those words on there. I'm just going to use the ink, but I think I'll go with the black for this one. Where's those words? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I lost you. There you are. All right, so we decided to go the, and we'll use archival black if I can find it. Archival. There you are. And for this one, I'm actually going to use the dauber. Is that black? Yep. Okay. Because it covers better than the brush. And I do want my words to be nice and crisp. Try to move this up a little. So I want it square so that I can hopefully be straight. So I'm trying to get it on my grid. I'm going to tape that down so it stays on the grid lined up. I had my tape, I must have thrown it away. All right, and then so we're kind of in the center there. I think I'll just line it up kind of sort of to, well, let me look at beehive. Yeah, right about there. Trying to go as high as I can. For this, I am going to use regular tape. And do you think I'll hit that? Yeah. Knowing me, I probably will. So we'll just cover it up. All right, so you can also use those soft stencil brushes that Essential Stencil has to do this with. They do work, and they wash out fine with the inks. And if you use them with the archival ink, just use a cleaner like the Master's brush cleaner. That works real well. All right, there's make sure there's nothing on the back. I don't think it went through. No, okay. And then we want beehive. Do I look like I'm straight? I think I'm straight. Yeah, the line here looks pretty straight, so we'll say yes. I don't know that I need to cover the E up, but I will. And a little more ink. What about those leaves? I don't trust myself. We're gonna cover the leaves. I need to check my time again though. Oh, bad. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, someone let me know, can you hear me at all, and am I still connected? I lost the battery, so I don't have my mic, so I'm going to try to talk loud. So, y'all let me know. Okay, I'm waiting for y'all, so I hope you can hear me some. I know it works, it's usually really low. Yeah, the battery definitely did not last. Oops. I'm gonna have to remember to keep that cord away from that cat. I assume that's what happened, unless it just didn't seat well, which could be. Anybody hear me? I see Deborah's watching. Someone let me know if y'all can hear me at all. I hope that there's someone here that can let me know. And I apologize if the sound is horrible. We only have a little bit left, so hopefully it'll be all right. So there's that. I'm gonna put these guys on. Tape. I didn't draw in a ground, but I guess it's okay. I was thinking about drawing in a ground. I really should draw something though. Let me grab a pencil. Got a watercolor pencil here. We're just gonna kind of fake a ground. And a brush. Brush. Where are my brushes? There's one. Some water. Teeny tiny bit of water. I just wanted that to have a little bit of a, a ground, so it's not just a floating beehive. All right, there, that's fine. Can y'all hear me at all? No one's responding. Does that mean you can't hear me? Got the volume all the way up. I just don't know if it's working. want to test something real quick. I'm turning my volume up on my phone. Oh, okay. Well, I can hear me. So maybe y'all can hear me. I know it's low, but these are so hard to peel off. Touch it. Nope, not any better. Oh, come on. Always going to catch on that. Don't catch on that. Okay, there. Maybe it's not too bad. All right, there. That's cute, right? I think it's cute. Let's do our lavender. Where's our lavender? What time is it? I don't guess it matters now. I was freaking out about the time, but I think as long as I have it plugged in, we'll be okay. You just can't hear me as well, so we'll sacrifice one for the other. All right, so probably use that piece there and there. Where'd the other one go? Oh, there it is. And about here, there, and two half pieces. Let me trash that one. It was too wide. Try that again. Not quite that wide for that piece there. If I can aim. Okay. Oh, thank you, Sue. My goodness, I was freaking out. This should sit, just don't stick it yet. It should stick, it's a little higher. No, it says it's the same foam. Oh, I used the same foam. I was gonna put it higher. I don't guess it matters. I'm gonna try sticking it on over this just slightly. I'm just debating on where. I think I'm gonna go right here. Just a little bit of a layer. Tweezers have sticky on them. So nothing is releasing. All right, and then this one, I'll just go right there. Cute. Now these, when it's closed, it'll squish down, but when it's open, they pop up. What do you think? It's cute, right? I think it's cute. Alright, so that's going to go, leaving my lid off my ink. And there's an ink pen somewhere here. Where is it? There it is. I have a brown ink floating around here somewhere. No idea where I put it. There it is. Okay. I just gotta put these away. Okay. Now, what we can do, get some stuff out of my way here. I'm like talking to y'all saying, can you hear me? And nobody's answering. I'm like, well, I guess if they can't hear me, they can't answer. Because they don't hear me asking. That's why I wrote it down. I was like, okay, I'll just write it down. Maybe somebody will answer. Glad you can at least hear me some. Alright, so that is a way you can use transfers and decorate a page. Isn't that cute? It's cute. Alright, so let's throw it back in there. I think we have time to do the other thing. I was going to put something on this page next to it. So that's how that's going to go in there. And then it'll close over. And it doesn't see hardly any bulk because those squish down. And then I thought we could put a honeycomb, or not honeycomb, a honey pot jar, whatever, over here. And I have an idea. I don't know if it'll work, but I have an idea. Let's see if it'll work. Alright, so what I want to do is put the little honey jar as like a tag. Do I have one of the honeycombs I can use? I don't think they really have a loose one in the set. I was hoping they did, but I don't see one. So there's a honeycomb that's sitting next to this one. I wanted to make it removable. I'm thinking, stick. Do I sacrifice that one or not? It's kind of off center there. I think the only other honey server thing I have was in one of the stencils I had. Let me see if I can find it. I thought I saw one in a stencil. I just don't know how big it is. Yeah, this one. Let me see how big it is. It's pretty small. That's the only one. I don't know. It's kind of small. Possibly search and find one bigger, but I don't know if I will. So maybe I won't do that. I don't know. We'll try. All right. So what I'm thinking is to make a pocket or something over here next to it with the honey jar, and just put it on a little tuck. I wanted to put a honey server in the jar, although that jar is not open. I mean, I suppose I could open it, but technically it's not open. If I cut it out there, I could make it look open. I'm going to put it on vellum. I'm going to do a pocket with this. I'll just mark it. You know what, I'm going to put it on, this side because I don't know if it'll cause me issues on that side, catching those bees. Sometimes if you put things with an edge, they'll catch the edge when you close it. So I'll put the pocket on this side, I think. So it looks like about, how tall is that? Okay, put it on there. I'm gonna try to have it end approximately in the right spot. I'm gonna try it anyway. I'm just gonna use that honeycomb that is in there, and I'm gonna see if I can't do this. As, you know, it sounds like fun, and I like to do things that are interesting. This is the straight edge, right? My cutter is definitely not gonna cut this, so I'm gonna use I'll use my own rotary. Even though I'm not really supposed to use that rotary. Let me grab the other one. This is my fabric one. Here's my paper one. My blade and my paper trimmer right now is dull. Super dull. There's that. A little bit crooked. I didn't stay online. Oh well. Not a big deal. But this fits. I'm so timid about this thing now since I cut myself with it. Just gonna have a rough edge. There. Kind of a torn edge. Alright, so I'm gonna try putting this on first. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. You love the wobbly bees? I'm glad. Let's see if I can hit this in the right spot. If you feel like you can't do that and lay it out in the right spot, you can always cut out the shape of the pocket after. I'm going to try to make this an open jar, and I'm going to use that little honeycomb from that other one. I keep calling it honeycomb. It's not. It's honey server, I guess is what it's called. Ladle server. I think it's called a honey server. I don't think it's called a spoon. Okay. That's going to be the pocket. It's going to go like this. And then I'm going to cut this out right at that top. I'm debating on just cutting the shape. I'm trying to think of what it would look like if it was open. I might could just cut a little notch there. You know, let's put the thing on the vellum first. And cut it out, see what it looks like. It's not perfectly shaped, but because it's, I don't know, I think it's half in the jar. We're gonna fake it. I know I'm sacrificing this jar. It's fine. It's okay. I'm just gonna kind of fake it and make it shaped a little bit better there. I really wasn't going to cut that out until after I put it on the vellum, but I forgot that I wasn't on the vellum. Brain. Sometimes my brain does not work right, guys. So now I really have no place to touch it. That was like... That's called brain fail. When your brain is thinking one thing, but it's not really the right thing. I was like, oh, I didn't want to cut that out just like that. Oh my goodness, I can't get it there. I'm trying to grab a hold of it without touching it too much. Don't do that. Don't cut your shape out before you get it attached. That's not smart. I have to be really careful putting it on here. Oh, goodness gracious. I don't know. My brain just thought it was already on there. It totally did. I thought it was already on the vellum. And I was fussy cutting away. Let's see if we can make this so that it fits. Like it's going to go in that lid. I think it'll be strong enough. I could possibly back it. I don't know. It might be strong enough. It's a little on the weak side, but we're gonna try it anyway. Okay, so put our pocket down. So because it's vellum, I have to put it down with like double stick tape. Vellum and glues don't really work great. Art glitter can hold it. It's not ideal. I'm gonna put a little notch in here. I'm just gonna cut it with my X-Acto knife. Let's see if I can make this work. So I'm just gonna cut this jar open, kinda, sorta. Can't really see what I'm doing, but almost. Close. Alright, so now the jar is kind of sort of open. I want to see how it looks. I might back it. I can kind of see it. I was hoping it would be see-through enough. So what I'm thinking is that I want this to still be a pocket, a normal pocket. So I'm going to back this with another piece. I think that makes sense. All right, so I'll back this so that the only part that I want this available for is that the little thing. But I want the rest of it to be used as a pocket. All right, I think that's logical. Brain. But I think I want to do it darker, because if I use darker, will this show up better, or if I use lighter? Good question. Let's see. Does it show up better? Not that great. A different color. Let's see. White. If I put it on like white, it shows up better if it's white. Alright, so we're going to back this on the white. It could even be yellow or something that'll match a little better. Maybe, what do I have? What do you have? I don't have yellows, because I tried to buy yellows and some of me bought the wrong thing. But I do have some off-white, like a cream. Sorry, I just realized I didn't have my mic on, and I'm talking way across the room and y'all probably couldn't hear me at all. stick this down first and then I'll cut it out. So I'm just going to stick this on with double stick tape, I think. If you actually measure it. Just pull off whatever's too much. So this is for my pocket area. And I want some up there too because I want it to stay closed as best as possible. I may even throw a little glue on it. But I want that hole to be still there. I just don't know if it'll get lost in there. It might. Oh my gosh, I thought that was the edge. No, it was not the edge. So I'm debating if I should put something to stop it. So I'm trying to catch this edge exactly. I wonder if I put something to stop it. That would be a good idea. Oh, I don't want this thin stuff. I'm out of camera, so I'm too far down. Hold on. There. I can't. The light's so bad. Okay. I don't really have to have any on the bottom there. And we'll do it just because. The catch is, if I don't put it on the bottom there and it does fall in, you could still get it out. Or I put something to stop it from falling any further than we want. So we really don't want it to fall past, say right here. Really want it to stop right there. I don't even know how I would do that. Make it stop. So you know what? I'm gonna leave the bottom open. And if it does fall in there, at least it falls out on the bottom. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it does. All right, we're just gonna glue this on. This is for our pocket. Hopefully it works. Like I said, I'm winging it, guys. What time is it? 10:30. Is my charger thing still working for y'all? Yeah, it's actually charged back up now. It's about 34. All right, let's glue this to this. Oh, that was really crooked, but that's okay. I'll make it work. All right, I'm gonna cut that out. Hold on to stuff. Where's my scissors? It's crooked, but I'm just gonna do the best I can. Straighten up the bottom a little bit. That's how I can't seem to cut straight. Like I said, what will happen is at this point, if this gets lost in here, somebody puts it in there and it goes too far, then you can reach in from the bottom and just pull it back out. So I'm just going to leave that open, but it won't affect the back pocket because I'm going to close that. You'll see in a minute what I mean. Sometimes you just got to figure out ways to rig it so it works. All right, so we're going to put our pocket on here. So the pocket, 3 sides get glued. Glue or glitter. Make sure I'm holding it in the right spot. All right, so 1, 2, this has the advantage of having those words on the other side too. I didn't rub that in. Let me put it on a smoother surface. I forgot to rub my transfer. This is like this. So if we keep it on the lower section, you can still read the beehive on that page as well. Okay, now this is a pocket, which we'll make a tag for it later, but here, I'll just show you with something. So this is a back pocket, but it's also, this almost needs one more piece of vellum, but I don't want to risk putting it on there because I'd have to use double stick tape and it might snag on things. So I'm just gonna keep it thin. And that's just gonna go there. And you can see it through a little bit. See, you can kind of see it. So I think that's kind of fun, right? So that goes in like that. And like I said, if it gets lost and it goes too far, then you can just reach in. I can't do it with one hand holding it up, but you can just reach in from the bottom and grab it back out. Okay, so not the end of the world, but that'll be cute. And then we'll put some sort of a tag here. I may or may not decorate that space, I just don't know yet. So we're just gonna leave it like that. I think that is cute. That's a good stopping point. So the two unusual uses for transfers. Okay, so we used a little bit of a stencil, we used transfers. I've got a pocket page. I'll decorate this with something, maybe just like stencils or something, I don't know. Something flat so it doesn't snag these little guys, because these little guys will snag if I put a pocket there or anything. And they're cute, right? And there's a little bit of layering there. And they're all grounded. So there's our dimension. I don't know if it comes across. So we got a little bit of a dimension. We got wiggly wobbly little bees. Like I said, bigger things wobble better, but they're still fun. All right, that's it, guys. I did it. I did something. I'm just gonna open this up like this so that I can show it on the main page. Let me zoom back out. All right, guys, that is it for our live. Sorry about the battery issue, and hopefully the sound isn't horrible. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. I will be back on Wednesday, and we'll work some more in this journal. Remember to use my code ARTROOM if you need to purchase any of the transfers or stencils from Essential Stencil or brushes or anything. And take advantage of the sale right now. And the link is in the description of this video. Okay? Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.